All right. Hey guys, welcome back to the Underground. This is Interactive Chat Volume 94. 94, baby. Getting close to 100. 94, the year of Donkey Kong Country, Earthworm Jim, Cruisin' USA. Yes, I had to write these down. Star Wars TIE Fighter, Killer Instinct. What a damn good year. But do not forget the most important of all. Bubsy 2. What is up, guys? My name is AJ. This is, of course, Interactive Chat, where I like to interact with you guys and say, what is up to Blue Jew, Underground Game Cat, Meow Meow in the house, Tom 12 Toad, Backlog Game Cat, Woot Woot, Jason Ewing, howdy everybody. So good to see each and every one of you. This is, of course, our weekly Solo Man podcast, where we talk about everything: news, reviews, announcements, trailers, discussions, VR game showcase, but more importantly today, what happened after the VR game showcase, because believe it or not, that's where the real interesting stuff is. Oh, so good to see each and every one of you. What up, Bitmappy? What up, Justin? Vargelsoft. Hey, he got a notification. It's a Christmas miracle. So good to see you guys, man. Okay, so today we're going to be mostly breaking down some of the things you might have missed from the VR game showcase. There's definitely some additional information that was unearthed after the presentation. Wasn't really explained super well during the presentation. Shit happens. It's no big deal. That's why I've got you covered today, my friends, because we've got a lot of some big games to talk about. Game Cat, Farmer Brown, yee A Dizzle, Geis on fist bump to you, Scott the PSVR Game Cat for life. So before we get into the VR games showcase news, however, a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games from that showcase we're going to be talking about. There's one game I want to talk about first, and that is, of course, when my button works properly, Cyube, because we did get a little bit of an update with Cyube VR. This is, of course, the mining and crafting voxel art, but not Minecraft game. Big for builders, but also some other things. Actually, spoiler alert, it may or may not be featured in my upcoming Hidden Gems list. Who knows? Maybe I just gave it away, because I did. But yeah, this has been a fantastic game. I obviously had a real fun time. I put 20 hours into it, not even like really building anything, any huge structures. Those people have hundreds of hours in this game. I have 20, which is basically how long it takes to beat the main campaign. Grandpa Barbecuer, welcome, Silver Nexus. And but yeah, so the game is currently on sale, and the developer actually added kind of where he's at with it right now. And he did mention that, you know, as a solo dev, this takes a really long time for him, but he's working as hard as he can. He's living off of making this, so he's living his dream, which is awesome to hear. And yeah, but anyways, the big things that I'm personally asking for Cyube is multiplayer, and the main reason is I want to go see either multiplayer or some sort of sharing feature, rather than just taking a screenshot of your creation and sharing it online. No, I want to actually go visit these places that people build and let them share them and let them be featured and showcased, and go visit them, and no touchy and it's fine. I don't have to touch anything. I don't have to touch anything. I don't have to do anything, steal any of their stuff. I just want to go see it, because there's some really impressive structures and buildings that people have built in this game. But what's the point if nobody can see it? So that, to me, is the number one feature that this game is missing. But he's also planning on adding survival elements as well, because that's obviously another thing that's a big inspiration from Minecraft, is the survival mechanics, the survival and multiplayer. That's a big part of it. I don't really care about the survival mechanics. I mean, that's fine. I might get into it. No promises there. But what I 100% will get into is multiplayer. The other thing is that before any of this can happen, what he's currently working on is actually, Scott the PSVR2 says, you break it, you buy it. The thing he's got to do first before any of this can take place is he's upgrading to Unreal Engine 5. And he also says that this will allow him to introduce some new PSVR2 specific features that will allow for the, the directional reprojection, something like that. I forget what it's called. It might have been directional reprojection, something adjacent to that, if not. But basically a better form of reprojection that doesn't have like as much ghosting. It's got a lot better clarity. It's basically the reprojection fix. However, at this time, we only know that it's only supported on PS5 Pro with Gran Turismo 7. So it's not really a base PS5 feature. It's more of a Pro feature. But that being said, that's cool. We've seen a couple other studios do this. We've seen it take up to 6 months for them to fully upgrade the engine. And yeah, he's planning on having a better reprojection algorithm, as well as working on the survival and multiplayer coming after that. So this is a game, I'd still recommend playing this game just because I really enjoyed doing the full campaign. And it was fun. It was fun to do all the tasks at hand. They were immersive enough, and really the scenery was really beautiful. I mean, even though they're these little voxel art things, voxel art world, it's open world, and some of the towering mountains and everything are actually quite beautiful in many ways. So I enjoyed it visually, and I enjoyed a lot of the mining and crafting, which is funny because I don't like Minecraft. The kids are they're not kids anymore now, they're grown adults. But anyways, yeah, so wanted to just give a little shout to that update, just to, I always appreciate when developers are transparent and honest and, just sharing where they're at with the games, with any roadmap possible. And that'll be one to keep an eye on. Also, before we get to the VR Games Showcase, I did forget a little bit of housekeeping. I want to thank all these people down here that go to patreon.com/PSVR Underground and support me for $1 or more. There's different tiers. I have been having a tough time with this Patreon scroll. But again, thank you, Scalpel Doc and Jason, who pointed out that it was glitching out. It was all the names were in the text box here, but they weren't showing up on the feed. It was getting cut off. So I have upgraded the engine to the Patreon scroll. So now it should have it should have everybody showing, and I'm gonna do my best. Definitely let me know if you notice it's not. I swear to God, it better work, because I spent a lot of time rebuilding it from scratch. But now I can see all of your beautiful names, and you're also now separated to the different tiers. There's a $1 tier, which is Underground Soldier. There's a $3 tier, which is Underground Officer. And then there's a $5 or more tier, which is Underground Generals. So I appreciate all of you. And also I had to add some people before the show as well, because there was a couple new members. Shout out to JPEG Q. As well as some people that upped their Patreon or adjusted it. Thank you, Stingray X, and welcome also MGS Fritz, my boy, is back on the Patreon scroll. Thank you guys for your support as always, man. It really helps so much. I work 8 to 10 hours, and then I immediately come home and scramble and put this shit together so that we can all have a good time together. And let me tell you, it is worth it, and your support helps make it worth it. Just from a logistical standpoint. But hell yeah, man. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. So now it is time to talk about the VR games showcase. But first, we have, speaking of those that really like to build and create awesome structures, spend a lot of time in Cyube. Nihilus Ryan, my metal feline friend, thank you so much for the donation, my friend, and says, Cyube VR love makes my tipping finger go wild hard. Well, now I know your secrets, and I will use it against you constantly. Now, that is awesome, man. Yeah, I'm glad that there are some hardcore Cube fans out there, and it's to me, it's kind of like Minecraft for adults. But the problem is Minecraft has like 10 years of updates and Microsoft money and bazillion dollars to use, and so yeah, this is just one developer that's doing this, but he's doing a great job. It's a beautiful game, and it's a lot of fun. And again, I highly recommend it. It's on sale. I think with PlayStation Plus, it's actually under $20 for the first time. So like that, it's like, yes. But be warned, like he is going to be updating the engine. He is going to be adding, there's features that are still missing that he's going to be adding later. So whether you want to pick it now or later, that's fine. What up, Tolerable Aussie? Oh yes, I forgot. Some of you might not recognize me anymore. Apologies for that. Silver Nexus, thank you so much, my friend. Well, here, I can definitely prove to you. I can definitely be as loud and crazy as AJ, so you know it's me. You know it's me. It's not an imposter. Silver Nexus, my dude, thank you so much for the donation right through Streamlabs. You can also donate through streamlabs.com/PSVR Underground. And then 100% of that goes to me. So I appreciate you. YouTube doesn't take anything. Nobody else takes anything. But it says, thanks for streaming. Glad to support. Thank you, my friend. No, there's definitely enough. I was scrambling to get the show together, but there's definitely enough stuff to talk about, like the VR game showcase, which happened 2 days ago. However, like I said, if you watch the showcase, a lot of us, I would say, were a little confused, at least as PSVR2 owners. There was a lot of stuff that was shown, but I'm not sure it exactly was explained super well or presented super well enough. And like I said, stuff happens. It's fine. But there was actually some additional information, some that I reached out to Flat to VR, which, by the way, Flat to VR has a lot of stuff on this list today. Shout out that studio because they are awesome. And we're going to break down some of the games they showed off via their new initiative, which is called Flat to VR Spark, where they basically provide support in many different ways, from marketing to funding, all sorts of things, to help developers and modders bring more flat games to VR. So it's pretty cool. And amongst these announcements, we got like I said, four games from Flat to VR that were announced, teased. So I want to run through each one just a little bit and tell you what I know about it, which is basically nothing. Maybe see what you guys know about it and steal your thoughts in the comments. But no, there's actually some interesting things happening here. So I kind of went in order from like smallest to biggest in a way with this. So what I've done here as well is I've grabbed each of the flat screen trailers from each of these games so you can actually see what it looks like kind of before it gets VRified, which they did show a little bit of this prior, or they did clip a little bit, but it was just a little tiny bit. So I wanted to give you a good look at the game, starting with I Am Your Beast. Let me see who this is by. This is developed by Strange Scaffold. Now, doing some digging on this game, it has decent reviews. Like, it has good reviews, I would say, around or somewhere around the 7 out of 10. And essentially, it's pretty funny because this game is obviously a flat game first, but even flat, it still kind of resembles that Quest cell shaded look a little bit. But you know, everything like VR kind of changes everything. I'm not sure it's going to change the visual style that much, obviously, but this game did get some praise and some comparisons. Well, I would say some comparisons to Super Hot. Super. But yeah, so essentially you're playing as an ex-agent who's been called back to action for one more mission. And then it turns out that this is like an all-out guerrilla warfare. And so you're doing this whole campaign as one mission. It's not supposed to be a very long game either. But it gets a lot of comparisons to Super Hot. And Super Hot without the main Super Hot mechanic, though. That's the thing. It doesn't have the time slows down when you do thing. It's more just about the brutal, fast-paced kind of combat, and just kind of multiple scenarios, level structure design, where you go around just basically destroying loads and loads of guerrilla soldiers. And like I said, this game actually has decent reviews. People seem to enjoy it. They basically, I think I would sum it up as looking at other reviews, not mine, of course. I would sum it up to it's good, it's fun, but it's not like super memorable or anything. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. You know, just a straightforward action game. That's cool. That would be fine. But yeah, that was the first game. And again, just so you know, all of these games, none of them actually mentioned specifically PSVR2. So I don't know exactly which platforms they're coming to, but I assume that these are all coming to PlayStation VR 2 as well. I think from what I've seen from Flat to VR, it seems like they really want to, you know, become multi-platform to release on Quest, PSVR 2, Steam, which I think is the right decision. I think it shouldn't be exclusive to one platform because it's just different. They're way different audiences and way different age groups and way different types of gamers. And I think obviously PlayStation VR 2 has the most hardcore gaming audience, followed by Steam, and then, you know, Quest as well. Although Quest is mostly for most people enjoy like social stuff. But yeah, so looking forward to hearing more on this. I think it looks decent. Like, it looks like it would be a fun time. Let's see. Emily Baxter, hashtag Cartoony Witch Game Kitten. It's my younger cousin Honcho. No, the beanie stays. Although I'm not wearing my other beanie because it needs to be washed. So I have the backup beanie, which was given to me by Endeavor One, our good friends over there that they made, of course, Arashi, Castles of Sin, which I loved on PSVR 1, not too much on PSVR 2. They helped with multiple other projects as well, including Batman. They helped, did something with the Batman Arkham Shadow game. But shout out Endeavor One, Ninja Cat, and the crew. Hope you guys are doing well out there. We miss you. Come say hi sometimes. Don't be strangers. Okay, so the next game. So like I said, I'm kind of staggering these in an order of I am more excited as they go on and gone. Maybe with the exception of one, which is the very top two. But this one, the reason I'm breaking these down is because I have no idea from watching that showcase, or at least watching from Without Parole, which I did, Dollar Rossi. I slightly agree with you. Wait, no, that was the other one. But the next game is called The Signal. And this is described as a crafting survival sci-fi game. The Signal. And this is developed. Let's see. The flat game looks like it's called The Signal Stranded on Cyrenus. It's a survival craft game set on a captivating alien planet that has ensnared you. Scavenge, build, extract, and survive your way through a complex world as you reveal the true intentions of this sentient planet and why it has brought you here. This is by Goosebite. Great name. Yeah, this game is definitely more my kind of speed, survival, sci-fi, and it sounds like it's an extraction as well, which I did not know until I just read that just now. If it has good exploration, good crafting, good survival, beautiful scenery is a big important one for a game like this for me, but it's pretty cool looking. And again, I'm just using the flat screen trailers. What? I think Goosebite's an okay name. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Goose are evil little bastards sometimes. I am like a goose whisperer though. They never attack me, but I see them attack a lot of people I know. They're vicious. They'll bite your fingers off. Yes, 8-bit most plays. These are all Flat to VR studios through the Spark initiative. Keep that in mind. This is not their main developers and modders. This is their support team, or this is the team that they're providing support to, independent modders or teams, studios that want to add VR to a game but can't, or don't know how to, or don't know, or need help and resources. They're helping through that way, which is really cool. It is, kind of their North Star at the end of the day is, taking people that are capable and making flat games into VR. And yeah, the big advantage there, of course, is that most flat games have more quality and content than VR games built from the ground up for VR, but not in every case, of course, but in a lot of cases. But these games, I don't know, they do seem a little bit smaller scope, but they do also seem like a good fit for VR, which is cool. Oh, I missed the logo, Steve Irie. I didn't see it, but Old Darth, yeah, it kind of looks like a little bit like Souls Project. Man, I miss Souls Project. Yeah, Souls Project, sci-fi survival game on PSVR 1 and PC. That is what made me realize I liked survival games in VR, was that game. It blew my mind, and it was like a 15, 20-hour campaign. Very eerie, super cool. Yeah, man, this again, this looks like this looks right up my alley here. It is single player. It looks, it doesn't look like doesn't seem to be a multiplayer game. But I like the mystery here that they're building, and the world itself. I mean, the world itself looks pretty cool in some ways, and it's got like first-person shooter elements to it, extraction shooter elements, so it's a nice little combination. It says it's a survival crafting game, but it looks like a sci-fi survival shooter extraction game. But yeah, this one definitely had my interest. I thought it looked pretty cool. Now, moving up, I'm going to swap these because I do want to go in order of which ones I am most excited about. But this next one, this is possibly the biggest get for Flat to VR Studios. The only problem is that this is probably a little bit more. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here. Please correct me if I'm wrong here, chat. But this strikes me as something that's, while extremely popular, is extremely popular with a younger audience. But that being said, the younger audience can drive VR. They absolutely can. We saw that with FNAF. And this is a very similar game to FNAF. And it's called Poppy Playtime. Now, this is another one where I know virtually nothing about. No pun intended. And but looking at the gameplay here, or this is a teaser trailer from chapter 1. Oh, it's Poppy's Playtime. I had it as Poppy's Playtime, and then I thought it was Poppy Playtime, so I changed it to Poppy Playtime. And now he's telling me it's Poppy's. So, my bad. Tells you how much I know about this game. But that being said, look, when I saw this old chapter 1 trailer, I was like, this is actually not that bad. It doesn't look that bad. Like the thing is, like, I knew nothing about Five Nights at Freddy's, and I became a huge fan when I played FNAF Help Wanted. It got me into the gameplay, the lore, the characters. I loved all of it, and I thought it was scary as hell. I was a little hesitant about this first. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's great. Like, I'm sure this is going to make a lot of people excited. But for me, it's like, I don't know. Like, I know nothing about it, which doesn't really help. And they didn't show any gameplay. They just showed Poppy's face. So I'm like, I don't know. Like, yeah, he looks scary. But this is now officially in development for VR, an official version. I think people have been playing this with mods in different ways. And I think this is Flat to VR Studios doing this. This is not the part of the Spark initiative. This is, I think, maybe the core team. We'll see what happens. Things can change always, so don't quote me on that. But like I said, when I saw this trailer, like, I'm digging the art style. I'm digging the look of it, the aesthetic, and it looks like you are in charge of building toys or something, some kind of machine, toy factory, something like that. This little thing at the end was definitely kind of creepy, kind of cool looking, but game gets praised for its mechanics, its scares, its art style, all the things basically, and it's super popular. So I think while there are a lot of like hardcore gamer audience people, or maybe just, you know, whatever it is, whatever the reason, that are not really in tune with this game, I still think this game is going to have a positive effect overall for the VR space. Whenever there's something big like this is one of those what I call viral games that definitely helps move the needle a little bit. So I think this game will move the needle a little bit. We'll see. It kind of depends on, like I said, you know, kind of depends on the audience and people that play this game or are very excited about this game, if they are able to afford VR or whatever. I don't really know the demographic for this game, but I assume it's the same as the FNAF crowd, which is a little bit more grown up by now, so we'll see. But yeah, Game Cat Farmer Brown says doesn't look bad. Yeah, I thought from this chapter 1 teaser from a while back, I thought this actually looks kind of cool. But that brings us to the biggest to me, the biggest announcement or news from yesterday is Flatout for Total Insanity VR. Getting a VR mode through the Spark initiative, through a developer. And as we saw on Gamescast the other day, Miles said that this game is far along in development. Like, this guy, they didn't really give us a ton of information, but they said it's been coming along. It is pretty far along, and I don't know. Maybe this is something we see in 2025. Maybe not, but we got a little bit of a look at a little bit of gameplay. Actually, I can. Let's see if I can pull up the screenshot real quick. But dude, so there's a couple things to unpack here regarding Flatout for VR. This was an update to an existing announcement that they had before. Let's see here. Oh, I don't. Shoot. Well, let me do this. Let me show you the screenshots via, what the hell? Let me show you the screenshots via my Twitter, because that's the only way I can really do this right now. Sorry for the delay here. While I get this ready, I will say it was awesome to see the news. Somebody tagged me. I'll give you a shout in just a second. Somebody tagged me regarding Ghost of Tabor, because I was kind of laying into them a little bit last week about about their water, and they've updated the water, which is nice. Okay, let's take a quick look. Here's some screenshots. First ever look ever at Flatout for VR. and this is, like I said, this is well into development at this point. I don't think they said anything about 2024 or 2020. I mean 2025 or 2026. Definitely not coming out in 2024. But yeah, from this screenshot alone, and there's another one too I'll show. This is actually looking pretty sweet. The big thing that I'm excited about this game is the destruction, the carnage. I need me a Twisted Metal like in VR. Now, I don't know if this game's gonna can deliver that fix, but this is definitely the closest thing I've seen, and some of it has to do with some of the additional modes. Because, so again, the original announcement was just Flatout VR. We didn't really have much more info than that. They went back and they've said that there are potentially more Flatout games coming, but this is like the main focus for right now at the moment, is this one first. Now, I did some digging because I'm not super familiar on the Flatout series. But I did some digging, and I've heard a lot about 1 and 2, especially 2 being the most popular. 3 was a complete disaster because this guy, the developer Bugbear, left, and they actually are the developers of Wreckfest, I think. But then 4, people are actually, they said it's much better than 3, which is good. It still didn't live up to maybe the legacy of the game, but they actually had lots of good things to say about it. But here's the thing, man. This game, for somebody that's never played this series before, this game and what I'm seeing and all of the content and modes looks incredible for VR for me. Like, I am super pumped about this. Racing. There's 27, is it 27 cars? 27 cars. That's a lot. It looks like they're all going to be having their each cockpit cockpit designed. 20 tracks. That's a lot of tracks. And then the other real interesting thing to me is the party modes, which you can see some of them here. I don't know exactly how this is going to work because a lot of it looks like you're launching the driver out of the car and then into like beer pong cups or they're just solo cups, red solo cups or other things, bowling pins and all sorts of different mini games. There's some really cool looking stuff actually I saw when kind of doing some digging into these mini games. I am mostly interested in this stunt mode. I actually was a big fan of the game Stuntman, which this is completely different. But I've always liked stunt racers. I've always thought that is very thrilling. There is something thrilling and adrenaline pumping about that. And rewarding in some ways. But in VR, oh my gosh, like that could be 10 times more. You see a lot of that here though. You see like the putt golf or whatever. This is pretty cool. I hope this is a lot of stuff that we end up seeing. What they have confirmed via the press kit. Let me bring up the official press kit here from Impact Reality. Flatout 4 Total Insanity rebuilt for VR with content parity for the series signature destruction turned up in the headset. Smash through breakable environments, trigger physics-driven pileups, and feel the speed and scale of 27 cars across 20 tracks. Party classics return in VR, including the stunt mode with a mix of new and reimagined challenges, arena mode with deathmatch, which this mode definitely looked pretty cool. Definitely looked like Destruction Derby or Twisted Metal kind of without guns. But wait, Capture the Flag, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool mode to have in a vehicular combat racer. And Survivor, which I'm guessing is the person out front last person out front wins. Usually the people at back start as a timer or a checkpoint. They start destroying or blowing up one by one. Plus assault mode for weaponized demolition racing. Now, I want to see, I really am curious about the arena mode with the deathmatch. That sounds really cool. The racing mode, the stunt mode. There are some really, really good modes here on display and lots of content. So this is really exciting to me. This is huge, actually. This is like a really, really big announcement for me personally. I know there are some Flatout faithful that are like dead set on like 2 being the best and they should remake 2. Well, to be honest with you, like, you know, I don't know the possibilities of that. But I do know that there is potentially a better chance of that happening by supporting this game. But of course, you know, wait for reviews, make sure it's good. But I'm already sold on this shit. like I would buy this. And I'm actually, what I'm going to do, if I had the time before the show, I would have done this. But Flatout 4, the flat game, is actually on sale for like 67 cents right now on PSN. So I actually am definitely going to pick it up and just check it out, get a feel for it. That way I'll have a better idea as to what to expect and kind of understand some of these modes and mechanics a little bit better. So I'm really, really looking forward to this one. This was, to me, this was the biggest announcement from yesterday, or from the showcase, kind of, but it was buried under the Spark initiative announcement. I don't think that was the proper way to do that. I think, you know, I'm not going to tell them how to do their stuff because, you know, whatever. But but if it were me, as I like to say, I definitely would have like pushed like, here's an update to Flatout VR. We're doing this first, and it's through this initiative. And then tell about the initiative. Tell some of the other games. Do a little bit deeper dive on what some of these games are, because at least from the PSVR2 gamer side, that's what we care about, are the games. That's what matters most, are the games. But that being said, the announcement of the initiative was really, really badass. I think it's a really cool thing. And I, you know, I look forward to seeing more. I do hope they kind of go more like quality over quantity. We don't, you know, like, you know, some of the other stuff, it's like, it looks good, but do we really need to be like we need stuff. The state that VR is in right now, it needs stuff that is either really, really good or stuff that is going to sell headsets and sell people on VR. That's a lot of pressure to put on just Flat to VR alone, but they're the ones that can do this. Like, and getting popular games, popular IPs, obviously that's part of the process, is working towards that. But I would have gone bigger with the Flatout 4 thing personally, but I can understand between trying to, you know, not bury the Flatout or the Flat to VR initiative, as well as potentially some pushback from this being Flatout 4 instead of like something that is like Flatout 2 that's more popular. But again, from everything I'm seeing and hearing about this, and hopefully get to play later, this is looking really, really exciting. And I'm very, very excited about this. Don't know when it's coming yet. We don't have a release date, release window, but we did, again, get a first look at... we did get a first look at this VR mode cockpit here, which is pretty sweet looking. I love the carnage. I love the level design. I did notice in this the footage. I actually captured these pictures from the footage from YouTube, but I did it in 2K, so I tried to do it like as best as I could, or 4K footage. You can see that this is a work in progress, and you can see that some of the textures, not necessarily textures, the lighting, something about it does seem a little bit questified in this footage. But this is work in progress footage, so we cannot judge. It wouldn't be fair to judge it. I do hope that at least when it comes to PSVR 2, it does have all the bells and whistles. I think it looks even just from this preview, these little game screenshots, I think it looks acceptable regardless, because it looks super fun, and I love the physics-based destruction and everything, the destructibility, the breakability. It looks awesome, and I like the level designs too. So really, really cool. Huge news. There is something I almost forgot about here. Now, I need to be, before we move on to the next thing, I need to get caught up on a couple tips here. Also, let me check and see some of what you guys are saying. Let me get caught up on some of these comments as well. I'll try to fly through these as fast as I can. Tom 12 Toad Backlog Game Cat says, I Am Your Beast has another title from the same dev called El Paso. Elsewhere that could be fun to play on Steam also. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, Bitmappy, what the main character of Poppy's Playtime is called. He said it was called like Huggy or something, Huggy Bear. I don't know. Probably. He definitely looks like he wants to give you some pretty heavy hugs. Colin Love says PSVR2 is an old people thing and it makes no sense. That's not true. That's not true. When my friend got when my friend's children heard about Gorilla Tag, he couldn't get them off the PSVR2 for like, you know, whatever. Yes, they don't have the income that us you know, higher level. We'll say higher level folks have, but they got parents with money if they got a PSVR or VR2 or VR. Steve Irie says they're trying to give kids PTSD. Yeah. I think a little PTSD is good for some kids every now and then, from time to time, you know. No, not really. No, it's actually supposed to be a really fun game. Huggy Wuggy was his name. Taller Rossi says, I don't understand though. If it's far along, why would they shift it to the Spark Initiative and not just finish it themselves? Honestly, I mean, like they said, is they have a lot of projects and they don't have enough manpower. And this is a way that they can finish this. Also, I can't say much. But the people working on this, they are very pleased about. Let's put it that way. They are very, very pleased with the results they're seeing right now. So that's probably got something to do with it as well. But again, you know, with savvy VR veterans, some of the best VR modders around, some of the, you know, really knowledgeable VR people over at Flat to VR, like I know that they won't let this release in a crappy state or anything. I would hope so. I would hope not. Bargosoft says 69. Nice. You caught that on the speedometer. Nice one. Bargosoft says, didn't Wes say when it was announced that it could be this year, but it's more likely to be next year? Yeah, that's what it seems like. It seems like it could be this year, but likely next year when he spoke about it. But who knows? It could be more far along than we thought. Cornerstone City 777, what up, homie? Says, rip AJ's beard. Yep, rip indeed. That thing went before I shaved it. Level Up Legend says, I laughed my ass off when playing Wreckfest. Yeah, I've heard really great things about Wreckfest. And now it's all starting to make sense hearing about the developers from Flatout going to or are the ones that behind Wreckfest. It makes a lot more sense. Old Darth, I would also love Road Rash in VR. That's a nice little classic. Bad Robo says the mini games are the best in Flatout. Interesting. I do think VR is kind of a game changer for this franchise, though. VR could really, really transform this, especially a rebuilt for VR kind of style. I think that bodes well. Motorstorm in 3D was epic, says Scott Justico. Or Scott, I'm sorry. Scott, PSVR Game Cap for life. Okay. So, okay, we got a couple tips to get to, and then I do actually want to touch base on something else before we get to the main topic. I did, like I said, I was really running against the clock here, and tried to get everything together and finished. First, we have Obsolete Nexus. I love that name. Thank you so much for the donation right through Streamlabs. Says, we do appreciate all you do for VR and your time, AJ. That's Grandpa Barbecuer, the Game Cat. Thank you, man. Hey, man, just know that, you guys out here supporting us and being vocal out there, you're fighting with us too, and you can see it takes work, man. Like the state of the industry, the state of VR, what it's in, like it's not gonna survive without us right now. So like I said, man, it has to have us jumping up and down, being extra supportive. Of course, we want to be fair and critical as well, critique things, but we're not in the same place where we were 10 years ago. The whole game has changed, and so we have to adapt accordingly, and we're figuring that out right now and doing our best. But I love the community that we have. I think we have the best best VR community there is online. You guys are the absolute greatest people in the world. And, I between interactions with you online, your support as always from the beginning, I wouldn't be here without you. And then like meeting some of you in person or having private conversations with some of you. It's one of the most special communities. And yeah, like I said, if I'm doing any sort of marketing or anything, I am targeting this community because this community is standing strong, and the more you target this thing, it's going to just grow and grow VR. We're fighting against some pretty strong forces, but I think we're in a pretty good place, and we don't give up. That's for sure. Not sure, Brondo. It's what plants crave. Thank you so much for the super chat as well. So this is the best parts of all, game or something different. I'm still confused. Well, what I was saying was that the best news from the best information we got from the from the VR game showcase was actually after the show. It wasn't really, it was in the show, but it wasn't really presented in the best way possible. It wasn't presented poorly or anything, just could have been presented better. I think when you tease the PSVR2 community, you should deliver for the PSVR2 community. Don't just use us for views and support if you're not going to actually, come through all the way for us. And we like to hear things, which brings us to, they did mention Reach and whatnot, which I could not believe Reach did shield mechanics, man. Come on. We joke about shield mechanics. But no, there was some good news. I was excited to see Reach. It was cool. What the heck is this? Sorry, I selected the wrong thing. I'm trying to get something else here before I talk about this. Okay. Shields your ears for maybe just 1 second. This might not actually be loud, but just in case. Headphones warning. Okay, got it. We're good. Aces of Thunder was also featured during this showcase. And it was actually it was actually some pretty decent, it was actually a pretty decent announcement. Wait a minute. Okay. Some good news is that they have actually added some single player content to this. I wish I should have had, I wish I had the single player trailer for you here, but it's okay. So I've told you guys before, I've played Aces of Thunder. I want to at some point the second I get some free time, I'm going to be doing, I'll do a live stream of it because I still have early access to it. Sorry it's taken so long to get to it. I did do a preview, a discussion, but here's the thing, guys. I actually really enjoyed Aces of Thunder. I just said it wasn't ready to release yet, at least if they want it to be as best as it possibly can be. The multiplayer mode, I think, is pretty good to go. There's also like solo missions that you could do. That was really rough. I think there was about 10 to 12 maybe. That was really buggy and unfinished and unpolished. It was not good. And the thing is that yes, the multiplayer mode is going to be like the meat of this game, the main attraction, but a lot of us would pick this game up just for the single player content alone if there's enough of it and if it's good enough. And they during the showcase they announced there's official solo player campaign content here with different scenarios like defending Pearl Harbor from attack or a lot of other different things. They kind of had like the mission general or whatever. Voice acting wasn't that great, but I don't care. Just telling you like what's going on. And I like this. This is what's going to really help this game a lot is some single player content for our audience. I think a lot of people will enjoy the multiplayer as well. I'm not even a multiplayer person primarily, but I think I really, really, really look forward to playing this with multiplayer. I've only played against bots and AI and whatever. There he is. Look, there is JP. Well, the other JP. There's two JPs. I don't want to get y'all confused. But yeah, man. So single player content, pretty cool. I think they mentioned a couple other things, but you know, as far as aces go, I'm really, really looking forward to this game. The full release. I'm looking forward to jumping back in, and doing like a little bit of a live stream. I'll either do a live stream or a preview. Maybe both, because I want you guys to see how this game is, but maybe a specialized video might be a little bit easier to digest than, because again, one of the things I said about this game is it does have a lot of sim elements, and there is this like, it feels like almost 5 minutes to get into the match. Like you enter the match and then it takes like 5 minutes to fly where the other planes or objectives are. It works kind of like domination. And then there is like a team deathmatch mode as well, but there's also like a domination where you got to stay in the area. And that was really fun. But yeah, it can be long. It's very immersive. Like it actually is nice and immersive, but it can be a long time waiting to get back to the combat. And it really it works in the way that it incentivizes you to not die because if you die, you know, it's going to be like 5 minutes before you're back in the battle again. It's more fun than it probably makes it sound, but you know, at least from a time standpoint, how much free time we all have, which is not very much probably, you know, you want to be respectful of the gamer's time as well. But anyways, once I get, we'll do more. Just wanted to mention that because that was something that was kind of quietly mentioned. And again, it was something I had to dig up more after because they said single player missions, but didn't really see like, you know, a whole bunch. Maybe some of that had to do with watching it on Without Parole and they were talking over it as well. Definitely a possibility there. So maybe not all in them there. But Ace is one of the biggest, most upcoming games, most anticipated, long-awaited, highly anticipated, slightly delayed games that's upcoming. But this brings us to the main topic I wanted to talk about today. And again, this was something, you know, shout out to the community that this is what we shouldn't have to do as a community. You know, when we tune into a showcase, we should have all the exciting announcements and information that we need, regardless of platform. It should be clear, concise, and you know, to the point, and just information. Some of the backstory stuff is cool too, but we don't really need to hear a backstory for everything. We just need games, information. We give you money. You let us play a game. But one of the things we found out afterward, thanks to the community, is actually one of the games that was shown that stood out to me that I thought looked pretty cool, EXOSHOCK. This is published by VRAL Games, who also did VRider SBK. And they said afterward that they are planning to bring the game to other platforms post-launch, such as PlayStation VR2. And they said so to make sure you follow them and to stay updated on that. I have heard. I had to do some digging on this game. Now this game hasn't even released on other platforms yet. I want to say it's aiming for the fall. I think that's what they teased was a fall release. So it's coming on other platforms in just a few months. But after that, then they said the first thing they mentioned after the primary launch is PSVR2. I have heard good things about this game. Now, note, this is originally a small team of like 2 people. I will let me blow this up so you guys can get a better look at this. My computer is being weird today. No, I don't want Into Black. Although Into Black is 2 weeks away, and that's going to be pretty cool. This is I think this is an old. This isn't. I don't think this is the trailer we got. This is maybe an older trailer from the initial thing. So don't judge the way it looks. This is old footage. Yeah, maybe I should just put that back up there. I thought it was newer footage. I might have been wrong. But this is a single player or up to 4-player co-op sci-fi shooter is how it's described. And it's from kind of like this was originally kind of shown off in early access in App Lab and side loading. Like it wasn't even on App Lab at one point. It was like you had to like side load it into the Quest to be able to play it. But the early impressions of this game actually generated a good bit of buzz. People praised like the gameplay as this just being a straight up really fun shooter. And I don't know the full structure and the way that this game works, but what I do know, it is definitely 1 to 4 player co-op, and definitely a sci-fi shooter, which by the way, I am really, really into sci-fi shooters, such as anything from Crisis to Lost Planet to many, many others. I love sci-fi shooters. But this looks really, really cool. I like the art design. I like the style of it. But they do also tease some like tactical gameplay as well. Maybe we can dig up a couple more notes here. They talk about intense firefights, squad tactics, dynamic battlefields. That's right. There was something interesting that I thought that they were talking about this, which is you can, they say, evolve with player-driven updates. Maybe that's just talking about player feedback, because these guys apparently take in a lot of player feedback and make the changes. They do say there's customized loadouts to suit your style. Face adaptive AI that counters your tactics. So there's adaptive AI in this, so it can kind of change the battlefield a little bit. Unpredictable environments, strategies between aggression and precision. There was something interesting as well that I saw about this. Okay, this is what it says. Adapt your playstyle, customize your loadout, refine your tactics, and coordinate with teammates, whether leading assaults, supporting allies, or adapting on the fly. EXOSHOCK lets you shape your combat experience. That was something that stood out to me because myself, and I know a couple of you as well, I will fix that virtual resistance, but thank you for letting me know. I did make some last minute adjustments to the thing. So again, big sci-fi shooter fan, and I loved the Resistance series. I'm a huge fan of Resistance, Fall of Man, 2, even 3. 3 was awesome as well. And one of the things that I enjoyed most about that series was the tactical co-op gameplay, where you could choose different classes for your squad. And that's something that this seems to be adapting, which I think is really cool. Now, this game, by the way, is PvE. This is not a PvP game, which I'm cool with. I love PvE. And it's interesting. Between the mechanics of adaptive AI to, I'm really hoping, and what it seems to be they're saying here is like one person can play as a support class, a healer class. I love between various MMOs. I've played a lot of games, I know, for 3 decades, well over 3 decades at this point, almost 4. But I love playing as the healer class. I like playing as Assault as well, but I do really like taking care of my squad and healing them while they dish out the damage and stuff, and not have to worry about healing, stuff like that. That's good stuff. That's really, really fun co-op gameplay. And that's something that this game is at least seeming like it will have. But again, I've heard great things about the early previews of this game, but the full release is still yet to come. And then the PSVR2 version is potentially after that. My guess is this is going to be like an early to mid, maybe even, probably. It kind of seems like an Q2. I'm getting Q1, Q2, 2026 vibes from this, although it could come sooner. Who knows? They could get some help from somebody like VR Monkey, who does outstanding work helping developers port their games to PSVR2. But I think the most important thing, regardless, is that I want to hear from them is it's got the PSVR2 bells and whistles. You like the best way to get on our good side, eye tracked foveated rendering, 90 native frames per second. Haptics, adaptive triggers. It's a first-person shooter. Manual reloading, and if it doesn't have good haptics and adaptive triggers, you're already like missing something crucial. But yeah, shout out to the developers for mentioning this. God knows however many other games are like this sitting out there, that this is something, and I even mentioned to Jamie, I tagged him on my tweet, and I was like, dude, this would have been a really exciting part about, rather than let this just be found out later from the community. Like, this is something when you're arranging these showcases, the PSVR2 audience is a little smaller, yes, but we're also way more engaged, and we have a much higher attachment rate for most games. So this is not a community that you want to disappoint because we are one of the biggest communities out there for VR. So, but obviously it was a lesson learned probably for them, but and again, it wasn't like it was just kind of disappointing. But this would have been an awesome announcement saying, coming fall. And then we have one more thing for you. After the initial launch, we want to bring this to PSVR2, and we want to bring it with, haptics, adaptive triggers, eye track foveated rendering, headset rumble, blah, blah, blah. That would have made this announcement super dope on the VR game showcase. Oh my goodness, Colin loves. Funny reference though. Ooh, yes, we're gonna have to talk about Alien Earth in just a little bit. Almost there. But yeah, man, this was really awesome news that came after the VR Games Showcase. But this game looks cool. We wouldn't have known about this game if not for VR Games Showcase. So definitely shout out to them and the work they do and put in. And we know a lot of work goes into it. But yeah, super cool. This game looks really fun. Looks right up my alley. Don't know how big it is, but we'll find out soon in the fall. And then, of course, we'll be hearing more about this game as they are planning officially to bring it to PSVR2 after. So really excited. I think this game looks badass. I love the art style. Love everything I'm seeing about this. And 4-player co-op PvE, pretty dope. All right. That is it for the news, guys. Some good stuff. Cyube update. I am a good look at I Am Your Beast, The Signal, Flatout 4 VR, Total Insanity, Poppy's Playtime, and then EXOSHOCK. Some decent news this week for what should have been, without the VR game showcase, this would have been a slow news week. But thanks to them, we actually did have some stuff to talk about. So thank you, and thanks to Flat to VR for all the work you guys do as well. This is a community, teamwork effort. That's how this is going to succeed. So help each other out, man. All right. So before we get out of here, let me get something here. There is a sale going on, by the way. There's a Gamescom sale, and there is quite a few. There's like 3 or 4 pages of VR games. Not everything is great, but there are some good deals on that. And I don't know if this is actually part of the... Oh God. Sorry. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, there we go. So sorry. I don't know if this is actually part of the Gamescom sale, but it is on sale. Alien Rogue Incursion, because I saw... Okay, so this is the interactive chat, guys. We're going to open it up to discussing what you guys want to talk about, anything you guys want to discuss, if anything. You don't have to, but if you got something you want to talk about. Salvador, my dude in the house tonight. Fist bump to you. I do want to talk a little bit about Alien Earth and Twisted Metal. Kevin Tech says, AJ, don't ever grow your beard again. Kevin Tech, thank you. I appreciate that. 7 years ago, which is how long I've had that beard for, somebody told me, don't ever shave your beard. So another 7-year stretch, here we come. No, it was time to change, man. It was time to change it up. And, yeah, I'm very, very happy. I'm very happy with how this turned out. And thank you guys for all the compliments and everything. I appreciate it. Yeah, the beard is destroyed. The beanie stays. The beanie cannot move. Colin Love says, buy that shit now. Aliens for life. Hell yeah, brother. No, Alien Rogue Incursion is on sale for $20 right now, and I highly recommend playing it. I don't think my fellow without parole peers give this game enough credit for what it does. I understand it's not Alien Isolation. I understand it doesn't have a variety of environments, sure. But I actually thought it was a really well done chapter 1 story. I like the character. I like the setting. I like that you're an agent, a special agent or whatever you call them, a mercenary, and you go in there and you have to, find out what's going on, uncover the mystery, save any survivors, blah, blah, blah. But the reason I'm excited about this is because Alien freaking Earth dropped on Hulu yesterday or 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago. I don't even remember at this point. Alien Earth, I think it was yesterday, right? Fuck, I have no idea. I'm so confused now. It came out recently. And the first 2 episodes, guys, Alien Earth, oh my God. I am very happy about this. I am very, very happy with the first 2 episodes. Now, don't get too excited because it's television and they can screw it up at any point. This is what I don't like about TV shows is like it always, especially like season 2s, man, they really screw up season 2s a lot. But man, if Alien Earth continues on the trajectory that it's currently on, I loved it. Now, I would go as far as to say, and if you guys want to, chime in with your thoughts on Alien Earth, please, I will read yours comments as well. But for mine, I loved it. It wasn't perfect in every single way, but it had me engaged, and it was just like everything I wanted to see from start to finish so far. Little things here and there for sure that you could nitpick, but I think that's all that you can do is really nitpick it. I think at its core, it's like, oh, characters I actually care about, like stories, a story that actually is cool, that has some cool themes. And I'm going to keep this very spoiler free as well. Some cool themes that they're going right from the beginning. I really like they kind of throw in a little bit of Prometheus philosophy stuff, which, wasn't the greatest movie, but it had some cool ideas, and I feel like they fleshed out these ideas better. They executed these ideas better here. Some characters that I care about a lot and think are really cool. Again, a little bit of plot armor on some of them, a little bit of some stuff that's like, don't know if that completely made sense. Upon like, you know, if you watch it a second time or something, you'll start to see some of the kinks in the armor. But overall, visually fantastic. Oh my gosh, being set on Earth is really cool as well. But I think Alien Earth is the best Alien thing I've seen since Alien Isolation, Alien Rogue Incursion, of course. I'll give it some love. And the original 2 Aliens. Yes, I think it's that good. I really think so far. Anyways, of course, thoughts, feelings can change, but so far, I'm good. I am loving this. And I really love this universe. I am what you would call definitely a hardcore Alien fan. Mainly through like the movies, a couple comics, a lot of the video games. And as a lot of hardcore fans would know, like it's been decades of disappointment, but with some exceptions here and there. It's always been disappointing. And this is on Disney. What the hell, Disney? That's super surprising right there. But I love the visual. I love how big budget it is. It does not look cheap for a TV series. It looked great. I love that, you know, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm going to really hold back on what I say here. There's some really, really good stuff that's in this show. I don't want to spoil anything, so I can't say much more now. We'll revisit this conversation later at the end of, or you know, with each week, or maybe I'll do something on Twitch or something to do a spoiler cast. But yeah, okay. So Steve Irie says Alien Earth started well, then went to complete and utter schlock. I don't think it went complete and utter schlock. I think it did have a little bit more like action, a little bit more cheesiness in the second episode. Second episode wasn't as like the first episode. My jaw was just open the entire time. Like I watched the whole first episode, just like that. Second episode, yeah, I was like, don't do this. But it was fine. It was fine. Let's see here. Scott, the PSVR Game Cap for Life says, I didn't read any reviews on Alien Earth, only watched the trailer. I'm liking the story so far, and I'm loving the Easter eggs. Just didn't like the cat bit. Oh my, you got all that from the trailer? What the hell? That's crazy. Trailers give away too much, man. Yeah, I see some people mentioning Romulus. Look, if you like Romulus, that's fine. I do think Romulus is better than a lot of the crap that's been released, but when it comes to Romulus, I was in love with the first 30 minutes. The setting up the world building, that dystopian future, kind of like people being like enslaved and, you know, working for their freedom and getting screwed over. And I loved where Alien Romulus was starting. The second they went up into space, it shit the bed completely for me, because all they did was rehash the same shit over and over. And tried to build tension, but it's like, you know what's going to happen. It's like it doesn't work when this has all been done 10 times before. And then like towards the end of Romulus, I was like, okay, well, at least that ending was kind of okay-ish. But wait, there was a second ending, and I was like, you did not just rip off the ending to one of the worst Alien movies ever. Like, oh my gosh, the ending to Alien Resurrection was god awful. I think it's one of the most embarrassing moments in Alien lore history. And to copy that for the end of Romulus was like, this is where I was like, no, 3 out of 10. There was nothing. The first 30 minutes was just not enough, man. I did love the first 30 minutes, but this show, while not everything is perfect, it's basically perfect for the first time viewing it for me. But the first episode anyway. Second episode, yeah, I still like the second episode. They're trying to build the characters. They're trying to build, whatever. And it's okay. I kind of like some of it. I can see how it can go wrong easily, but it hasn't gone there yet. Okay. Plot hole issues, some of you are mentioning. What is great is Dexter Resurrected, says Old Darth. I love the original Dexter. I think I saw them talking about this. I originally thought I loved the first 3 seasons of Dexter, but I actually might like the first 4 seasons. I liked John Lithgow as the Trinity Killer or whatever. Oh, I hope that's not like a spoiler. No, it shouldn't be. It's been out like 15 years. I actually like the Trinity Killer stuff, but the first 3 seasons were definitely the strongest. For first 2 especially. Alien Earth is good. Media overhyped it though, says Old Darth. I don't think so. I think honestly, I wish media would be jumping up more about Alien Earth right now. I want to be jumping up about Alien Earth. Pijak Seko, Pijak's Ego. Ciao. Thank you so much. Talabrasi says Resistance 3 is the best in the trilogy, I think. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, it's the best. I think Resistance 3 is the best single player campaign. Maybe. It was different, though. It was different. They're all kind of, the first 2 are kind of similar, but the third one was kind of different. I do love how horror based it was. It was good. I loved all 3 Resistance games. From the multiplayer to the single player to the co-op. I played them all kind of differently and experienced them all kind of differently. Okay. Great production values. I wouldn't say flaky. Well, okay, maybe. Yeah, I could see. Maybe I wouldn't say flaky writing and timelines, but yeah, maybe a little bit weaker. Okay, let's see here. Let me change this trailer because I've been running the same trailer for a while. Thank you. Oh wait, this is Alien. Let's see here. Let's get some Zero Caliber up here. This is personally one of my most anticipated games. Also, yeah, I have been. We got more to talk about here with movies and TV shows, real quick. But I'll tell you guys before I get out of here. I will tell you guys what I'm working on right now because, yeah, I've got some news on that too. An update on that. Okay. Yeah, I highly recommend Alien Rogue Incursion. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was faithful to the source material and was just a really fun spin-off side story. Let's see. Kason talks about Resistance. This brings me to the other thing I want to talk about real quick. Twisted Metal, man. Sal, where you at, Sal? I'm sorry to say, Twisted Metal Season 2 is starting to lose me, dude. I've watched up to episode 6, and here's the thing about Twisted Metal Season 2 is that it feels like this whole season has been taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. I'm sorry, Sweet Tooth. I'm sorry. Don't hunt me down. The thing is, here's the thing. I will continue to watch Twisted Metal Season 2 because there are these little moments. The little moments is why I will watch it. I think when it comes to Twisted Metal, I feel like Season 1 was dumb, yes, but it was dumb but funny. Like, I laughed at a lot of the stuff, or at least I chuckled, I smirked a lot at some of the jokes. Even if they were stupid and corny, it was dumb, but it was clever and funny as well. And so I liked it for that. Season 2 has had a lot of dumb jokes that did not make me laugh, that I was like, this is just stupid. Like this is not funny. Maybe it's a subjective thing. I think it's a writing thing. Says you'll like Twisted Metal Season 2 on your 3rd or 4th rewatch. Probably. I hope so. I do like the good moments of Twisted Metal Season 2. That's why I said I will continue watching it. I mean, I paid for the service, but I will continue watching it because of those little moments that it does execute well. the new episode 6 or whatever, there was like a moment there where, and some occasionally season 2 can make me occasionally kind of feel something here and there, but for the most part, it's just dumb jokes that do not stick. And I don't know what's wrong with Sony, but they can't get past the hurdle of a season 2 for the life of them. They are just not good overall at filming movies, except for maybe like Spider-Man. Like they're doing okay with Spider-Man, but other than that, if I see the Sony logo on a movie or something, I'm usually like, ugh. I liked Gran Turismo, the movie. That was good. Uncharted, I thought was terrible. Most stuff I see with a Sony logo, I'm like, ugh. Movie wise. But yeah, Twisted Metal season 2, unfortunately, has kind of lost me here. But perfect timing for Alien Earth, because now I've kind of switched my attention to that. And like I said, I will continue watching Twisted Metal for the little moments here and there that I'm like, oh, that's nice. Salvador says, you're not wrong. After episode 6, I was like, that was not needed. I do feel it's going to be better when you can watch it all at once. Yeah, that would probably help it as well. I'm hoping they recover by the end of it. I imagine they're going to probably recover by the end of the season, because I don't understand how this got such glowing reviews. I don't ever trust critics anyways. I usually most of the time disagree. I usually get my reviews from either watching it myself or people that I know that have similar taste, or from YouTubers. Honestly, a lot of YouTubers, influencers or whatever, not influencers, but just YouTubers. They do ones that I trust. Not every time. Like Angry Joe is one that I kind of like sometimes. I like that whole crew, and they bashed season 1, which I hard disagreed with, and they liked season 2, and I was like, what? Like, how? Like, no, you've got it backwards, my dude. But it's all subjective, so whatever. But most of the time, I do look for, I found about like Arcane season 1 from, I think you guys were telling me about how amazing Arcane season 1 was, and then I checked it out and I was like, yep, this is legit one of the best things I've seen in a while. And then season 2 shit the bed. Okay. But yeah, so I'm going to go back to, but thank you guys for sharing your thoughts. Hearing good things about Peacemaker. I'll maybe give Dexter a shot. It's been a while. Mountain Man Gaming says, oh man, tried VR Skater and I should not have slept on this one. It is so damn good and the music freaking rocks. Let's go, Mountain Man Gaming. Thank you for supporting awesome VR games and trusting our opinions and everything. Dude, VR Skater rocks. Yeah, I streamed it again too last week and played a little bit more. Let me tell you guys real quick what I've been up to. Patreon members will know some of what I'm working on, but I don't want to tell everybody, because here's the thing. Every time I mention what I'm working on to Brian, he goes out and does it. So we're putting a stop to that shit. He can make it after I make mine, not before. No, but in all honesty, like I'm glad that that these videos, these aren't original video ideas anyways. But guys, I am currently working on the most amount of projects video wise I have ever worked on in my entire YouTube career. I've told you some of them, but I am currently working on 5 videos all at once. I've got the script done for one of them, because let me tell you a breakdown of the process that I've been doing. I've been going back. We had the top 25 debate, which turned into the top 30 list. I went and played each and every one of those games that I could for no less than 10 minutes. I played most of them, maybe 30 to an hour for even some of them. But I've been going through and playing every single game through the library again to help me make my top hidden gems list, which that one, the script is officially done for my top hidden gems list. I just got it done last night. So you have no idea. Like I said, I work 8 to 10 hours a day. I come home, I get like 5 minutes to rest, and then it's back to work up until midnight, get 6 hours of sleep. It's not a healthy thing. I'm not going to do this permanently, but I do sometimes feel extra motivated and extra inspired, and I go on like a week rampage of like tons of content, and then I rest. It's just what's been working for me, I guess. But 5 videos. First one's top hidden gems list. That is going to be coming ASAP. But here's the thing: is I'm actually scripting out multiple videos, playing all these games, deciding all the orders. First of all, what game is going to be on the list, what order the list is going to be in. I've got my top hidden gems list. I got a top upcoming games list. I will share with you one other video that I'm working on, but I have 5 total. Oh, should I though? I want it to be a surprise. I'm sorry to tease you like that. I want it to be a surprise though. It's something different, a little bit different, and it's really cool. And it is. I'll give you some teasers or some hints. It is involving one game. Actually, if you watched Gamescast Monday, I did tell you what that game was and what I'm kind of doing, so you might have an idea from there. But that's going to be one that I'm really, really excited about as well. And then on top of those 3, I've got 2 other lists I'm working on that I'm just really excited about. This is the time to do it. And then after I finish these lists, after I get this, we're going to be in the deep summer phase where, I don't know, there are some games. I mean, shit. Into Black is coming out in 2 weeks. So by the time I get these all done, I don't know, it might be Into Black time, but I do at some point, I do want to revisit some PC VR stuff for some tutorial videos, guides, setups, live streaming, just having fun, whatever. I do want to get into some PC VR stuff as well, while it's still slow. But the main focus is obviously PS5 because that's where the core audience is and that's where most of the people are. But there's a lot of people that have a PC as well. So and they really the guides that I made I seem to help a lot of people. So I want to help those people out too. And plus, I get to play some PC VR stuff as well that I'm way behind on, like Oblivion, and there was like a Halo thing. And dude, Metal Gear Solid Delta is coming out this month, and it's coming out very soon actually, and is Unreal Engine. And might be able to have an Unreal Engine, like they might do some mods where you can play a Metal Gear Solid 3 remastered in VR. That would be fucking crazy, man. That would be awesome. All right, guys. Are any of the videos redacted? The video ideas are redacted. There's no redacted games I'm currently playing at the moment. I was a little interested in that Memories of the Gardens Between. I can't believe I remember that name. You know why I remembered that name? Because I had to say it 50,000 times to remember it when I was just trying to tweet about it. The detective VR game, that actually looks kind of okay as well. I'm not sure if that's going to be good or not, but it does have hand tracking, so that's interesting. 1994 X-Wing game. I just mentioned 1994 TIE Fighter because it's the 94th interactive chat episode, and I was talking about Donkey Kong Country, Cruising USA, Earthworm Jim. Gave a little TIE Fighter mention. Man, Squadrons. We need to go harass that group for Squadrons again. For a Squadrons remaster. Oh, well, thank you for the good luck wishes. Guys, I think my voice is actually starting to go a little bit. So I'm going to call it here, but thank you so much. Once again, thank you to everybody just coming out, hanging out, having a good time. Thank you for all the comments and all of your support, your unwavering support. Your as Benji from the Mummy 1999 would say, your strength gives me strength. Oh, that movie. I want to go watch that movie again. I wonder how that's aged. I bet you the CG is probably terrible, but it was a great movie at the time. Ooh, Jay the Foveated Rendered Game Cat says, finally jumped into Hellsweeper for the first time last night. So good. Couldn't stop playing. Let's go, man. We got some VR Skater love. We got some Hellsweeper love. I appreciate you guys, man. Dude, those games, like both of those games just get better. The better you get at those games, the better the games get. Hellsweeper, I cannot say enough good things about. I just want to talk about I want to talk about Hellsweeper so much more than I will tonight. But we are not done with Hellsweeper and talking about it and telling everybody how great it is. Because imagine if one day we support this game enough to where we can get an actual like full-length game with that full-length single-player story narrative-driven campaign with that combat. Jesus. That combat is literally Devil May Cry and The Matrix in VR. Amazing. Oh, but thank you guys so much, man. Let's go ahead and get out of here with some metal. And I'm going to say, I will see you guys again very soon. I'll give you an update when possible. Got some more Patreon stuff planned when possible. Oh, thank you, Bad Robo says we need RE9. Hell yes, we do need RE9. Capcom's going to do it, whether they do it or not, though. I mean, we can help a little bit, but we'll see. The bigger companies are not as easy to sway as smaller companies. We don't have those kind of numbers yet, but maybe one day. Steve Irene, thanks so much. Guys, on Facebook to you. P-Jax, Ego, Brother Silo. Thank you so much. Ciao, my friend. Much love to you. Scott the Beast Again, Cut for Life later to you, my friend. Old Dart, thank you, dude. Awesome. Yeah, best community ever. You guys are the absolute best. BitMappy says Pod Racer in VR would be good. Yes, indeed it would. At least we'll have V-Racer Hoverbike to hold us over. Because that is definitely close to pod racing. It feels like, same with, let's see, Jay Phobia Rendered Game Cat, thank you so much. So glad you're enjoying Hellsweeper, dude, it just gets better. But I might have to hit you up with some multiplayer sometime. Chrome to the Dome, Colossus. Thanks so much for dropping by. Grandpa Barbecue, thanks for the donations and support, the love, right back at you, homie. And awesome stuff. Call the awesome, keep up the great work, homie. T-Town D, hello. Oh, China, I think it's Chinatown, right? Well, that was T-Town D. Anybody else here that I missed? Not Man Gaming, shouting on my dude, ABC3. Talking about resistance, gosh, I do love resistance. Definitely something they need to bring into VR. We need that. One day, guys, one day we will get flat to VR to make resistance in VR. Mark my words. We heard it here first. That's going to be our goal. Call love, thank you. The virtual resistance. Do not do that. Head fight, Princess on the scales. I don't know if I got it right. Fed and game cats. All right, guys. You have a wonderful night. I'll see you again very soon. Love y'all. Peace out.